Hi, Apartment Therapy. Welcome to my 650 square foot apartment in Brooklyn. Come on in. This house, this townhome that we're on the ground level, but it was built in 1901. I think they renovated it a few years before we moved in. There's still some of that, old school charm and character, but it still feels modern and fresh and very functional. It's the best case scenario because you have a total blank canvas to work with. I personally love older homes with a lot of character, so I tried to bring that back in through antiques and paint and art and things that have some patina and wear and tear. The only kind of constraints were the low ceilings and the lack of natural light. The ceilings are only 8 feet tall. I'm 5'10", so it's not a lot of space to move around. But yeah, whenever I do like an at-home workout, I can never do. I get on my knees and do the arm presses and stuff. I decided to just fully embrace it and lean into it with the paint choices, because with a lower ceiling comes more of a cozy and warm feel. With even things like sconces on the wall, because the ceiling is low, I will just pop in these Amazon fake candles because, we don't want a fire hazard with things too close to the ceiling, and still have those elements of cozy, but in a practical way for the space that we're in. We lived in this space for about 1.5 years before I decided on a color choice. And I went to Benjamin Moore and got a bunch of swatches, put those up, taped those on the wall, and then decided on this color. It's called Winter Lake by Benjamin Moore. And then I just went to town and did 2 coats, and I love the result. Blue's my favorite color. You have the blue in the paintings, you have the blue on the coffee table books and books on the wall, and I think it just really ties in everything very nicely and just elevates the space more than just having a plain white wall. I filled the space with lots of antique furniture, which I think warms up a space and gives a lot of character. Yes, I had to measure 5 times over just to make sure everything could not only fit into the house, but fit within the space as well. I had to get a new couch. Well, this isn't actually new, this is old, but our previous couch could not fit through the door. This was my great-grandmother's couch. She got it in the 60s. That was back when plastic covered all the furniture and it only came off for special occasions. So it's survived, all these years, all these decades, and then it made its way into my grandparents' home. When they would pick me up from school when I was younger, I would come and sit on this couch in their basement and watch Cartoon Network. And the fact that it's in my apartment right now is really funny. And they passed a few years ago, so it's a nice reminder and memento from them. And it also is super functional. It's a pull-out couch. I'm a huge reader, and I think books can act as a beautiful piece of decor, but it's also practical because I do read a lot. Decorating with coffee table books. A lot of these are actually gifts from people because they know I love that, and they look really beautiful and make for a great moment for decor. This credenza in particular, I was on the hunt for. I wanted something that fit the width of this space perfectly, and so I found this at an online auction in New Jersey and went and picked it up. Being in New York, storage is paramount, so every little excuse to buy something that has extra storage is what I try to look for as well. I get my art from all over: Facebook Marketplace, online auctions. These 2 pieces in particular, which are my pride and joy, these are also from my grandparents. They had exquisite taste, and when they passed a few years ago, all of us grandchildren were able to go into their home and pick out a few things we loved and cherished, and these were 2 of my picks. This is an abstract painting actually done by my mom's elementary school art teacher. And then over here, this is a painting from Jamaica. My grandparents got it on a trip there, and someone let me know that the hummingbird is the national bird of Jamaica. And I love it. I love little brass accents, and I think it ties in nicely with a lot of my other little trinkets. We also reupholstered this bench. It's a bench I found on Facebook Marketplace for $50, and I had seen this Thibaut fabric at my mom's store, and I was just waiting to find something to reupholster it in because I could not get it out of my head. So my mom owns a fabric business. She works within the trade with fabrics, and so I know a lot from her. I think going to a local fabric store is a great way to learn about what fits in your space. For example, this is a fabric called Krypton, so it's kind of indestructible. We have a dog and, we have a lot of people stay on this couch, so it's very easy to clean. It's not too precious, which is good because I never want anything in my home to feel too precious or like a museum or a showroom. I want people to feel comfortable and that they can kick their feet up on the sofa and, just relax. We actually DIY'd these bookshelves. These were not here. Shout out to my mom again. She came down and we went to Lowe's and got lumber. And so this was actually one of our first projects. Above our little dining nook, this is a piece by Herman Zucker. He's a Polish-American artist, and this is a oil on canvas of a street in Peru. I have about 3 of his pieces. I love his work. One of my favorite auction houses in upstate New York seems to churn out a lot of his work, so I try to buy a piece every now and then, and I'm building a little collection of his. I just found him on an auction online. You'd be probably sick about how much time I just spend looking at things online. And I think that's the issue, where the problem lies, is that sometimes I'll find something that's beautiful and I want to buy it, but I have to say, stop, where's this going to go? Do you have room for it? So a lot of the times I turn away from things that I would love to buy and I think are beautiful, but don't necessarily work within my space, or, I don't have a place for it right now. I really try to invest in beautiful and high quality pieces that I know I will love for a very long time. Honestly, really the only thing that's kind of new in this space is this table from Amazon, because I just could not find a nice size dining table for this little wall and to fit this small space. The coffee table is Facebook Marketplace. The bench is Facebook Marketplace. The chinoiserie bar cabinet is Facebook Marketplace. I would say 90% of my apartment is secondhand or thrifted or antiqued. I think when it comes to design, it's good to have kind of an inspiration and a mood board and a vibe of what you're looking for. I'm someone who loves the thrill of the find, and when I'm in an online bid for something, I always set a max. When the other bidder backs down, it's the best feeling in the world. So this is our patio. This is an extension of the living room, is what it feels like. And I just wanted to create a little city oasis back here. In the summer months and spring months, I'll come out here and sit with my dog Maple and have some coffee. Oh, speaking of, sorry, she just opened the door. We have this set from Target, which I think is beautiful and is held up really nicely. We've got a couple seat cushions from Home Goods. We just planted a bunch of things to bring some greenery in. We're surrounded by concrete, so it's nice to have some greenery around. My amazing mother came and helped me planted these because I do not have a green thumb, unfortunately. This bigger sofa right here was actually left by the previous owner, but it ended up working really nicely with the rest of the set. We also have a mini grill here, which has been amazing for parties and hangouts and cookouts, and we'll have our friends over in the summer for drinks and fajitas and taco night and stuff like that. I'm really happy with how it all came together. Our indoor is a little scrunched and not a lot of room to move around, so this kind of operates as our hosting and entertaining area. So now you're in our primary bedroom, our only bedroom in our 1-bedroom apartment. It's actually bigger than the living room, which I don't know how I feel about that. I think I would like more space in the living room rather than the bedroom, but it actually is a good moment for storage. We have 2 big dressers that can hold a lot of clothes. We have a big closet over there. I have a nightstand that holds a lot of junk and just kind of like throwaway things. We painted in this beautiful kind of grayish green from Benjamin Moore. It's called oilcloth. I had this in my previous home in the bedroom, and I just think it evokes a really calming and serene feeling, which is what you want when you lay your head down at night. I love it, and I'll probably paint my next bedroom this color as well. These balances are also handmade. So we just got some lumber from Lowe's. We just stapled gunned some foam in the fabric. The backside is not very beautiful, but at least from the front, it looks great. It probably took us, I think total maybe 5 hours altogether. It's 5 hours definitely well spent in my opinion. This tall boy dresser is actually from an estate sale in upstate New York. My husband and I were driving and saw a big sign for an estate sale, and I can never resist an estate sale. So we pulled over, walked in, I found this. I think it's beautiful, and I think I got it for $80, and it holds a lot. And in New York City, having storage is paramount. The other dresser over there is another thing from my grandparents, actually, another one of the things I got to pick out. It's been through maybe 3 different homes with me at this point. I love the color of the wood, and I think these 2 wood tones matched perfectly. To have them be from separate places, I think that worked out very nicely. This bed is from IKEA. This bedding is from Quince. It's linen. I am a new linen convert. I had never had linen bedding before, which it seems crazy to say out loud. So then I have a fun lumbar pillow and fun Eurosham. So I really want to keep the bedding simple. I love playing with textures. I love layering things. I think that, evokes and results in a really cozy feeling. My philosophy is collected, not decorated, as I like to say. I did not coin that term, heard it from somewhere, can't remember where, but that really struck a chord with me. So this is our work from home desk. My husband and I are both remote workers. This is his little area. You can see he's a huge Arsenal fan. He has the mouse pad, the lucky candle, and then he has his little trinket shrine, as I like to call it. But I think it's really endearing. He generally sits at this spot. I'm more of a mobile worker. Like, I can't sit in one space for too long, so we each have our own thing. What's important is that a space, especially when you're living with other people, it's reflective of both of you. I will say he lets me kind of do what I want with the space, and he's very encouraging of my passion and design aesthetic. So he really has taken a backseat and let me design the rest of the place, and I love him for that. This is our dog Maple's little corner. She's a beagle, and they love to burrow and have a really dark, cozy space. Just threw a little blanket on there. She has her toys. She has her cozy little home, and usually the door's open, so it really just feels like a little burrow for her. That's her little home. Oh yeah, she's looking. She knows we're chatting about her. So this is our kitchen. It's a beautiful galley kitchen. I think for New York standards, it's pretty big. It's great for storage. So we have a great little pantry at the end of the kitchen, cabinetry on both walls. We installed these floating shelves just from IKEA. A lot of the cabinetry is closed, and I wanted a moment to display some things. I love dishware and glassware. To me, these things are works of art. So I thought I want a place that you can see it and have it on display. I have some beautiful green coupes I got at an antique store. I have some beautiful bowls I got in Japan. We do use them, so it's not just a styling moment. It is a gift to have a dishwasher in New York City. This is my first apartment in New York with a dishwasher, so this is heaven sent, and I use it, and I'm so happy I don't have to hand wash everything anymore. I have 3 pieces of art in here. One is a beautiful oil painting that I found in an antique shop upstate. The piece above my sink was actually done by my sister. She's a wonderful artist. This is actually a lake scene of the Hudson River near where we grew up in Albany. And then this little piece right here is a postcard from the Sagrada Familia that my husband and I picked up on a trip there a couple years ago. And I loved just the look and the sketch of it. So I just popped that into a Target frame, and it fit perfectly. Above the stove, we tried to leave that space clear because I'm kind of a messy cook, and grease and stuff will go flying, and God forbid it touches art or something that I love. This wine case here is something I found at an antique store, and it's just, again, another good display moment for pretty wine bottles and whatnot. And I don't particularly love the tile of this kitchen, so I wanted to cover it up with something a little brighter. I opted for this really great mat from VMATS. I don't like the look of microwaves, so I wanted to hide it. Miraculously, there is an outlet in that bottom shelf. So we popped that in there because I have my trusty Breville oven that I use pretty much daily. We have our little coffee station. So just a way to free up some more counter space. We do get a lot of nice light in here because of this door. When we don't, I turn on the little oven light, and then I turn on this little lamp just for some more mood lighting. I think I'm more of an introvert, so sometimes through my clothing and my interior choices, I like to express myself through those things. I think when it comes to design, I think to the world at large, it's maybe looked at as frivolous or not a big deal, but I think having a beautiful home really sets you up for success in terms of, what you're surrounded by, things you love, things that remind you of people and places you love. And I think that's really good for just your mental and emotional health to be in a beautiful space. I'm always going to be a big proponent of investing in your space. I don't think you need to spend a lot of money to make a home feel like a home, and a rental at that. I think there's a lot of inspiration out there, and I'm really proud of what I created. The best compliment I've received about my home is that it feels like a warm hug, and I hope, that's what people feel about me when I interact with them as well.